First off, I've created a very useful schematic here which gives you the 5 key areas where tailoring will need to be applied. First of all, you have the processes themselves, which can be combined or adapted in some way. Then you have the themes. These can be tailored, if you will, by applying them using specific project techniques. When it comes to the PRINCE2 roles, these, as ever, can be combined in some way, or indeed roles could be split between one or more individuals. The management products, these are those outlines and templates contained within Appendix A. These too could be combined in some way, or indeed split into one or more, for example, documents. And then of course there's the terminology. And when tailoring PRINCE2 within, say, your organisation, it may well be that you will want to change this. Having done so, it is important to make sure that once you've done that, it's applied consistently. So these, therefore, are the 5 general areas that you would wish to tailor. Now, PRINCE2 principles, however, are universal. They will always apply and are never tailored. Whereas, using the word principle in its general sense, PRINCE2 should be tailored for a project's particular circumstances. I've deliberately put these two together so you're quite clear. Here we're talking about the principles within PRINCE2, and here we're talking about a general law, if you will, and that is that PRINCE2 should always be tailored. Key message: tailoring is defined as adapting a method or process to suit the situation in which it will be used. Nicely said, pretty much summarises everything that I've gone through up here. Now, the activities contained within each process must always be done, or carried out if you will. However, tailoring may cause the role responsibilities of each of these activities to change in some way. Just to pick an activity at random here, let me see, controlling a stage. Let me choose one of those, perhaps the activity called report highlights. If you're following PRINCE2, you must always do that. However, how it's done and who actually does the reporting is entirely down to tailoring. Now you need to apply a level of project management, and here I'm talking about complexity, I guess, that does not overburden the project management team. Since as long as I've been teaching PRINCE2, folks who have not yet fully grasped the PRINCE2 method are often heard to complain that PRINCE2 is bureaucratic. Well, of course, nothing is further than the truth. What you'll know when they say that is simply that they haven't thought through how you would need to tailor PRINCE2 to each individual project. And this idea of overburdening it can often happen when you try and make things too complex for the nature, context and environment within which the project is taking place. So that the steps, rather than the sequence of course that you'd need to go through, would be to adapt the themes in an appropriate way. To use specific terminology or language, referring to this point up here. Revise the management product descriptions as and when necessary, to echo this point here. To revise the role descriptions of PRINCE2 project roles, as in here, and to adjust the 7 processes to suit all of the above. Can you see that you don't need to tailor the themes per se, you merely apply them in a way that makes sense for your project, and that in and of itself becomes theme tailoring. Okay, adopting PRINCE2. There's 2 particular phrases here you need to differentiate between. One is tailoring and the other is embedding. Now, what you're trying to do here is to provide an appropriate level of governance and control given a project's particular acceptable level of risk. So the phrase embedding is the act of making something an integral part of a bigger whole. You see, what an organisation needs to do is to adopt PRINCE2 as its corporate project management method and encourage its widespread use. Can you see the difference between embedding, described here, versus general tailoring for a specific project? And to reinforce this vital point, that PRINCE2 principles should not be tailored and must always apply. Because of course tailoring can be applied to processes, themes, roles, management products and terminology, as I'm at pains to show you. Themes can be applied using techniques that are appropriate to each given project. And processes may be combined or adapted by adding or combining activities. One of the first examples that comes to me is combining the starting up a project with initiating a project, and doing that for a small, simple project. Indeed, I will give you that as an example in a later lesson within this module. Roles may be combined. You can split them, providing that accountability is maintained and no conflicts of interest can arise. Management products may be combined or split into any number of documents or data sources. And possibly a nod here towards agile and scrum techniques. Such products could be slides, wall charts, or data held on IT systems. These are called generally information radiators within the agile world, and are often highly coloured and large general displays of project information. Sticky notes and whiteboards are often used here. But coming away from agile, the management products could be information, for example, held on an intranet website. Terminology may be changed to suit other standards or policies, provided that it is applied consistency. Yes, that's a good point. I talked about terminology just now, about being the way an organisation refers to it, but it may need to adhere to an internal or external standard or policy.